Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, I guess, depending on the time. I am Amanda Villius. I am the current lead teacher or educator in the baby room at Encompass Early Education and Care. I primarily work with the infants, which are 6 weeks to 6 months, but I can work in any age classroom. At my center now, I am currently in the 2-year-old room. I wasn't a big fan of being in here. I couldn't seem to get the grasp of how to connect with them. So no matter what I did, it didn't feel like my strong suit. But being in here for the last week or so and seeing the improvement on some of the children, it has made me feel great as I was able to make that difference. I have known that I wanted to work in childcare since I was a kid, as I watched my mom's friends' kids. I think the very first one that I watched was when I was 11 and the baby was like 3 months old. And that's right there and there, and when I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I got my high school diploma, and while I was in high school, there was a course that I could take, so I took that, and that started me on my journey to where I am. Views on how the outside world sees us. They see us as just babysitters. It's the daycare that people work at that get to watch my kids. But it's a little more complex than that. We get to shape the minds by doing what we do. We get to get them ready for, preschool, kindergarten, and all that stuff. There's many different activities that we can get them engaged in, knowing what the step will be after, they master that one milestone, and so on. What inspired me and how did I get here? Watching the kids grow up as I was babysitting them and just seeing all the stuff that they can accomplish, that's what inspired me, and that made me be like, that's what I want to do. I want to help these kids accomplish whatever it is that they want in life. So after I had my daughter in 2012, it took me a couple years, but I went back to school and I got my associate's degree at NWTC. So that's where I am. So for a while, I didn't go back. I just let it be. And then I had my youngest daughter in 21. And shortly after her, I decided I was going to go for my bachelor's. So I have a few semesters left of that, and then if everything goes well, I will graduate next year. There's can be different challenges that you face in this line of work. The biggest one that I had was having my oldest daughter in the same room as I was when she was little, because as that mother, you want to go to her or him when you hear them crying, whether it's they got hurt, they just needed the attention or something from the teacher. If it wasn't for the help of my parents, I never would have made it through school. But my oldest daughter at the time, she was 6, and she was my reason for making that jump and going back. So, and here's to both my daughters now on why I am going for my bachelor's. Have I ever experienced or demonstrated relationship strategies for mentoring and coaching? When we get new teachers, I'm usually the one that they pull out so I can help them in their classroom, as, like I said, I can work in any room with the ages. So just walk them through what the classroom requirements are, make sure if, I answer any questions that they have, allow them to observe and watch me do, the routines, the schedule, so they can see how it's going. Have I ever experienced demonstrated reflective practice for professional development? We had a new position filled, it's the associated director, where, it's kind of like the director, but not the same. She doesn't have the same duties or whatever. She makes sure that, if we have questions about a thing called CORE that we do for developmental status on the children, that's who we go to. Or if we need help with lesson plans or just, stuff to make a difference in the room, like rearranging or anything like that. So she'll help with any of that stuff. Have I ever experienced demonstrated family and community partnerships? My experience with family partnerships involving getting close to some of the parents and families, I like to make my parents feel like they can talk about anything. Most of the parents in the infant room that drop off are moms, and we girls love to talk. I keep the communication firm with my parents, and even when their children leave my classroom, it's still, hey, hi, nice to see you, just to keep it that way. Sometimes we get invited to do that, to birthday parties and stuff like that, but we still have to maintain that confidential stuff. Experience during COVID-19, that was probably the hardest. We didn't have a lot of babies because teachers pulled them out, and then watching the kids struggle and just getting frustrated, it was hard to see as they were trying to do the homework in daycare and having so many different grades in one classroom. My plan to accomplish is to graduate with my bachelor's degree and maybe one day be a director at one of my centers. Thanks.